Hi everyone. I thought I'd get on here and talk about my beliefs. Some people have questions for me on why I would put up birth charts on my YouTube channel. I also have the Chiefs shirt on because I'm ready for the game that is later. But going back to my beliefs, I'll talk about what I studied in college and where I stand now and the journey that I've had that has brought me to where I am. So in college, I decided to study theology. Now, I studied theology just as much as I studied art. You can see some of my artwork on my page from time to time. But going back to my studies in college, I studied the Bible and various books and hermeneutics and homiletics. Hermeneutics is the interpretation of Scripture, and homiletics is the preaching of. I was going to say my goal was to be a missionary or to work in conferences. However, you have to have a really strong network to get involved with such a leadership position. A lot of churches also do not believe that women should be preaching or teaching or in a leadership role. And I was against all of that. I believe that a woman ought to receive the same equal opportunities as a man when it comes to leadership. Churches fail because there's not any women in leadership or for the decision making. They all leave it up to men. I've seen that time and time again. I remember studying that in college and also through the internship that I had at a local church. But anyway, at the time, while I was in college, I questioned a lot of things. I questioned why we just went to church, did worship, and listened to the pastor or preacher say a sermon. I felt like church was supposed to be more or different than the way that man has made it. So oftentimes, even in college, I would just help out with the worship and go on my way. I would help run the PowerPoints or the sound system just to make sure it was all good to go. But anyway, I say that to say, even at the start, when I was studying theology, I really questioned a lot of things. And I know that might sound weird that I studied theology and I questioned things. Well, I've always sought out the truth. I want to know the truth, and that's just something that's been ingrained in me for several years. Anyway, so with that, I just also want to say or bring up the Council of Nicaea. So one thing I find interesting is that, it was the Roman governor that ordered the crucifixion of Jesus, Pontius Pilate. And I was going to say Roman emperor, governor, there's been some controversy on whether it was the governor or the emperor. I say that to say, though, it was Roman. It was the Romans who wanted to crucify Jesus. Yet, as we look at the Council of Nicaea, who helped design the Bible around 325 AD, it was Romans that were appointed to create the Bible, to write the Bible. And why that's important is because Jesus was crucified, or the crucifixion was ordered by Romans. The Bible was written by Romans. So I'm not saying that they were all Romans, but what I'm saying is the council that wrote the Bible were ordained or were told to do that by the Roman emperor. And I find that just very intriguing. Like, the same people that crucified Jesus are wanting to write a Bible to, in my opinion, control humanity and to limit what we read, to limit who we are and our ability to step in to healing and the things that Jesus did. They really minimized the works of Jesus. And Jesus said, you will do more than I. Okay, well, what does that really mean? In a lot of ways, Christianity puts everything on Jesus. Jesus did this and Jesus did that, and they don't have the power. They don't act like they have the power within them to do various things. But that right there gives away your power. It gives away your abilities. If we just go around day to day and just like, oh, Jesus will do that, and Jesus will cover me there, or Jesus will help my son pass his test. Okay, so I just say that to say, again, all of those examples are ways in which Christians have diminished their power, have given their power away. When does that stop? I do believe in admiring Jesus and honoring him. In a lot of ways, he is an ascended master, which means he came here on earth, and his level of consciousness reached such a high point that he became an ascended master. And there's just so much misinformation or programming that has been put through Christianity to control man, to keep them at a lower vibration, and to keep them from ascending or evolving anymore beyond what they are here to do. I mean, do you want to keep redoing the same thing over and over in your next life? I say that to say, like, Christianity keeps you in a loop where you are told to only believe certain things, or you can't do this and you can't do that. All of that keeps us at a very low vibration, because if you do something outside of what they say you cannot do, or if you do something that they say you cannot do, that is going to bring shame and guilt, which is a lower vibrational state of being. I'm not harping or saying anything bad about Christians or Christianity, but I'm just saying that there is more. And it's time to wake up. It's time to open your eyes and release or let go of the programming that has been taught for years and generations. I remember going into churches and seeing pews that were hundreds of years old. Why is that? Because it's an older timeline. They want us to be stuck in that timeline. Well, I say it is time to rise up. It is time to step in more. We are more than capable. We are able to heal. We are able to heal ourselves, and we are able to heal others. I had to go through a lot of healing because of what Christianity taught me. We're not supposed to walk in shame. We're not supposed to walk in guilt. We're not supposed to, shame others either for believing something different. Because that's, it's not only affecting you, but you're projecting it on someone else, which is affecting them. And, you might feel like I get fired up about this, but I do, because there's so much more that we can step into. There's so much more that we can do. And, there comes a time when our consciousness will expand and we'll go further out. And it's already happening. People are waking up. I'm sure a lot of you feel that, even though there might be friends or family that are not waking up. It's happening on a global level. But anyway, that's my take. I might be one of the few people that can talk about this because of where I came from and where I stand now.